to say how much we appreciate the Beathard family. What happened last night was very tough on CJ and his family. It was a tragedy. Such a great family. We've been with CJ here for 3 years, and he's as good as any person I've been around. Their family is unbelievable. I never got a chance to meet Clay, but knowing how his parents are, knowing how CJ is, knowing the stuff they've told me about him, he was an unbelievably special person. So just our hearts and prayers are out with them. And I know his dad reached out to us with text, just how great everyone's been on social media, and just the respect everyone's given their family and stuff. He can't appreciate enough, but I think everyone understands how horrible a thing that happened to their family last night, and just our prayers are with them. But all right, from the game, the only injury that we had was Timor. He left, was in the concussion protocol, so he never came back. All right, go ahead.
What you just talked about, how difficult was it on you and the guys to get up to play this game?
It was just, I think it was tough just seeing CJ last night, just finding out about it the way we did and just going to be there for him. And there's just how horrible it is, and there's nothing you can really do about it or say. So you'd have to ask the guys that. I know they had heavy hearts. We all knew. Everyone finds out on their phones, before all of us get a chance to talk about it. So everyone knew when they got in here. And people on this team really, really respect CJ and his family, and regardless of just anyone, for something like that to happen to is as horrible of anything I can imagine. So I know CJ left back there this morning to be with his family, and we'll be reaching out to him as soon as possible.
Kyle, what did Jimmy show you on that last drive there, the 3rd and 16?
I mean, he was resilient. I mean, it was 3rd and 16. It's not the best situation to be in. Usually you're not feeling great of those situations, and those are the guys. They gave him enough time and protection. I think he made the first one to Bourne over the middle, and had a similar play like that over the middle, but the safeties got real wide and got the opportunity to manual down the field. So the guys, just to give him the time and for him to hang in there. The game, just for everyone, not for everyone, wasn't perfect. Offense, defense, or special teams, play calling, the quarterback, protections, everything was up and down throughout the whole thing. So there was a lot of times I think that each individual on our team could feel like they had messed some stuff up, but each individual kept coming back, and to find a way to end that game there at the end was pretty special.
Take us through Sanders' catch at the end.
Yeah, it's we had Bourne running over the middle. They played a 2-shell defense, and you're going to work Bourne in the middle if it's a 2-man type deal. But the safeties got so high and wide that we had and I think it was Weddle. There was somebody flat-footed in the middle of the field, and we were able to get over the top of them. And it was a good throw, great route. Something we tried for earlier in the game and didn't get the right coverage for it, but we got it there, and the guys made it happen.
Do you have a 3rd and 16 area on your play sheet you go to?
We actually do, but yes, we do, and it's not a fun area. Until today, it went well. So usually I get an I formation and run the ball out of frustration, but that would have been bad in that situation. So I'm glad I didn't.
When you look at 3rd and 16 generally in the room, what are you thinking in terms of percentages of ever converting one of those?
I mean, they're less than 10%. I know that. In the league, you watch some people on the year, and it's like 1 out of 20 or something. So it's whatever that percent is. I think that's 10. No, it's 5. Thank you.
In a row?
What's that?
Would it surprise you if you had missed 50 in a row on 3rd and 16?
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And usually it's such a low percentage you don't really try on 3rd and 16 much. You usually just try to survive the down and get half of it and punt. But we were in a situation that we didn't have that, and I think we struggled on 3rd down most of the day. Just got to get in longer distances, I guess.
Since that New Orleans game, Emmanuel, before that long pass, it's sort of been quiet in terms of production against the Falcons, and then throughout tonight until that. Why do you think that was the case?
Today was just a huge zone coverage day, the way that they played. Had a feeling going into it that our guys weren't going to get a bunch of targets and stuff down the field because of the way they play their coverages. We thought we were going to have to hit a number of underneath stuff and get up the field. And fortunately, they came up tight on a couple things, so we were able to open up a little bit, getting Kittle on that high cross when we were backed up. I think on the series before, I think that was the start of that 90-yard drive. And then then he just got a couple good looks on third down. But Emmanuel played a great game. I think all our receivers did, but it's just how the coverages worked.
Can you take us through Kittle's touchdown where he was double teamed at the very start and just what happened after Jimmy started rolling out?
Yeah, he was the number one guy to start in the progression. He was double teamed, so we got off of him. I think he looked low to the back. I didn't see what happened to the back, and then you got to go across the board to the guys coming into your vision. And by that time, versus this pass rush, usually that's coach talk. The play breaks down, and Jimmy got outside the pocket and ended up making a hell of a play on third down.
I think that was one of those moments where Kendrick Bourne maybe didn't know how big that moment was.
Probably. That's how KB rolls. So that's why he usually comes through in those moments.
What defensive adjustments did you make at halftime? It seemed like those rollouts were getting you in the first half. And
Yeah, I think we made some adjustments on that, which I think was definitely needed. From what I saw in the second half, it looks like we slowed them down a number of times on those rollouts. They had a good plan for us. We were playing sound in the run game, and when you play sound in the run game, that's usually what you give up, the bootlegs and things like that. So we had to make a few adjustments, and they had a good plan, but I think we were able to slow it down enough there in the second half.
Given how the game went last week, how important was it to make sure you had a W this week?
I mean, it was very important to me, just as important as last week. But it's you try not to look ahead. I thought we had to win this game no matter what. I think we possibly, based off how tomorrow goes, we would have still been playing for the West next week versus Seattle. So if that would have happened, we would have dealt with that. But now winning this, you don't have to worry about anything. Now we got one game here left in our season before the playoffs, and got 8 days to get ready for it, and we're pumped about that.
You touch on alluding to the importance of the first round bye specifically.
I mean, you would always love the first round bye, without a doubt. But I mean, you always would like 2 games instead of 3 to get to the big one, and you would always like to rest your guys if you could. But everyone's done it every way possible, so you never know which way is going to be the best way until the season's over. Then you can have hindsight, but I think that's what everyone goes for. But that doesn't happen. We'll be excited with whatever situation we're in.
That game at Seattle has loomed large for a month and a half, and it's as big as ever right now. Your players get an extra day to recover, but for you and your staff, how soon will you dive into preparation for that game?
We'll do it like we always do. I mean, I'd like to say we can't do much more than we do in any week. And so if we try to do a lot more, we'll probably overthink it and mess everything up. So we got 8 days. Hopefully we'll only need 7, so we can be smart with that and come up with as good of a plan as we can.
I assume you talked to CJ last night. I mean, generally, what was that like?
Tough. I mean, probably exactly like you guys would expect. I got the call from him. He called me at about 3 in the morning, and I'm in the hotel, so I was able to go down and be with him. And there's not much you can say. You just try to hold a person and be there for him. And we tried to figure it out, what we could do, and the quickest way to get him to his family. But that was probably my first time in a situation like that. But I think it's exactly what anybody would expect. There's nothing to say, and it's as tragic and sad of a thing that can happen. And so, to me, when you try to say stuff, you're insulting the situation. It's as bad as it gets, and you just got to be there for him. And it'll be a hard deal to recover from. But he's as strong as any person I've been around.
It's coming down to like that last-minute field goal. Are you getting used to it at any point?
I mean, you get used to it happening, but I mean, your body still feels the same. I mean, it's not great. I'm gonna go rest after this, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, as long as you win them, it's a lot of fun, and it's good practice. I mean, that's how most of these games get when you go against good teams, and that's how most games are in the playoffs. And I think we've gotten battle tested throughout this year, and hopefully that'll pay off for us here in the long run.